What do you think you miss out on because you're a woman? Seeing a movie in which 80% of the characters are my gender and the remaining 20% of the opposite gender are set decoration intended to satisfy my sexual gaze. Being able to say you're bad at physically caring for elderly people, babies, and actually being believed and encouraged to choose careers that don't involve that sort of thing. To not have your experience questioned at the time. Why do I have to prove I have experience or knowledge on a subject where guys get a free pass? Feel like I should carry around my degrees to prove I might just know more about something than they do. The convenience of not planning around your period. I bike commute 70+ miles per week, own 5 bikes and do most of my own maintenance. The respect I receive at bike shops from the male employees is next to zero. Yesterday I brought my new small frame tire I am 5-foot tall hybrid in for a complex repair and was told it wasn't for me. It must be nice for men to walk into a bike store and be treated like a knowledgeable, adult human being. Trusting the intentions of men who express interest in my professional value, hobbies, or interests. The fact that so many men are actually just feigning interest as a prelude to hitting on me is gutting. The privilege of disappearing for a bit without notice and no one assuming I've been raped and/or killed. Be taken seriously. Not being dismissed immediately as hysterical or shill. Traveling with utter confidence or walking by myself late at night. I once saw a guy who was tired while traveling take a section of ground with utter confidence and indulge in an hour-long nap that I badly wanted. I was stuck upright in uncomfortable airport chairs just looking at him enviously. The last time I fell asleep in a public place was on the beach and I awoke to screams because my friends were chasing off a group of men that were trying to look up my dress to see if I was wearing any underwear. I haven't been able to sleep in public since. Not being judged for doing childcare while working during COVID Zoom calls etc. When my husband does it, it's endearing. When I do it, it's unprofessional. Where I live, Catholic all-girls boys' school are still very much the norm, and because of this some girls' schools don't have the option of doing more masculine subjects and vice versa. When I was in school, I wasn't able to do physics, engineering, programming, woodwork etc. This greatly made me feel like I wouldn't be able to study a STEM subject in college, and I ended up going into a career that I hate instead. Walking the streets at night, being loud, not being scared. I'm pretty tall, so many clothes aren't made for me in mind. Being seen as authority, not needing makeup, respect. Traveling anywhere in the world alone. Also not to be gross, but sometimes penetrating seems more fun at time than being penetrated. Not being taken seriously when I am yelling at someone because my voice get way higher then. Just being taken seriously, period. I feel like my whole life I've had to fight to be actually heard. Literally everyone in my life didn't believe I had wrist problems and severe pain until I had to have surgery for 2 torn ligaments. That's how serious people never take me on all fronts. Getting off almost every time through sex. What a dream that must be. Respect. I'm a nationally recognized expert in a very small field. There are also several men who do similar work. I am constantly asked to prove myself in ways they are not. I am also asked to be nicer in ways I know they are not. If I give a training or am a keynote somewhere, I know I have to be nicey nice or they'll disregard me or worse. My male colleagues are serious and don't do any of that fawning and are considered extra professional as a result. It's a lose-lose situation for me. Free time. I grew up in a household that split chores in a so-called fair way. My sister and I got washing dishes, no dishwasher, and a lot of daily cleaning chores. My brothers got chores like yard work and taking the trash out. Even as a child, I could see that my sister and I got a lot more thankless, repetitive, time-consuming work than they did. I saw a lot of this coming up in my career. 2. The glass escalator. I work in non-profit, which is generally mostly staffed by women. But guess who is at the top, especially in positions making decent money? Mostly men. Even in my own org, which has about 50 employees right now, the top 3 leadership jobs are men. And most managers are men. 85% of frontline staff are women. Our board of directors is mostly men right now. It's about 80%. Being assumed to be able to make it in STEM, and not facing sexual harassment for trying to succeed in STEM. I was hounded out of advanced programming courses in HS. I considered majoring in physics, and even my friends in the department said it would be bad. It was worse than I imagined. The first professor I met with to advise me on my decision sexually demeaned me and said I was basically a waste of time because I'd just leave to have babies before I finished a PhD. I went to a physics student meetup and was told all the classics including boobs or GTFO and make me a sandwich. As an adult, I'm generally hard-headed enough to keep pushing, but that was just too much at 18. Not constantly having to assess for threats to my safety whenever I'm out alone. Being able to speak with authority without being perceived as aggressive or bossy. Being left the alone. Not having creatures who are bigger and stronger than me feeling entitled to my time and attention because they want to stick their dick in me. Freedom. Being an Asian, women are not given much freedom. We can't go on trips until you are married. If you want to have fun with friends, they will tell you can do whatever you want after getting married. You have to get married by 25 and you should have kids immediately. When am I supposed to have fun? Enjoy my life. It's like birth, marriage, kids, death. There is no place for freedom, independent, self-sufficient, in assigned parents' dictionaries for woman. Basically, doing things on my own. For example, going places and meeting new people. I'd love to feel comfortable and safe enough to go to a pub per bar on my own and just chat to people there, like you see guys do. Side question: do women miss out on meeting other women because we tend to go out in groups which are hard for new individuals to approach? Taking walks at night seems nice. Freedom. Traveling alone. Going out at night. Dress however I like. So much more. Men don't realize how lucky they are in this society. Wearing what I want. Even in my own home. Go change. We have a man in the house. Being able to be passionate about something and not have someone ask if it's that time of a month. Or speaking up about my own experiences and not being called a feminazi. Like, why is it that when I talk about gender equality, I get compared to people who wanted to exterminate people because of their religion? Not having periods. Not wearing bra. Late nights without any fear. Taking walks. Not having to plan several routes back from everywhere I go. Not having to think about my outfit for 20 minutes every day. Being taken seriously as a person in STEM. Being taken seriously when I'm in pain. Having my opinions valued as I speak. Having my voice heard. As well as all the serious stuff here, I also feel like I miss out on the authentic gaming experience. I really like playing games but always feel a bit nervous about it because if anyone finds out I'm a woman they immediately treat me differently. Having medical issues taken more seriously instead of just being brushed off as an anxious, hysterical woman. The ability to act confident and assertive without being told I'm too controlling or acting like a B. Not having to worry so much about gender-based crimes and the feeling of general safety that comes along with it. Equal pay, respect from men and women about career choices and not having kids. Definitely the latter for me as well. I started trying to find a doctor to tie my tubes when I was 18 for medical reasons. Took me 6 years to find a doctor who would do it. I will never forget how utterly defeated I felt when I went to a new doctor at 23 and asked about it. And he said he'd never do the surgery for me because my future husband may not approve. I was livid. I would never, ever marry someone who wants biological children. It's the world's biggest deal breaker for me. But my own medical decisions were apparently in the hands of a man who doesn't even exist. Not having to dress certain ways in certain situations or just not having to focus on what I'm wearing. Not talking in a fashion sense. Being able to have a bad mood per day without hearing you should smile more or being called too sensitive or have it be attributed to menstruation. Opportunities in male-dominated sectors and particularly in sport. The abuse, bias, sexism, lack of opportunity I've experienced because I'm a woman in sport, not a man, is insane and very infuriating. Road trips. Being able to easily whip out your dick and peeing wherever, whenever. For me, it's the culture of sleeping around, specifically because I've had too many negative experiences with sexual assault or abuse. Of course, men are also sexually assaulted, however it is statistically less common for heterosexual men. There's also the stigma society attaches to women for desiring sex, which doesn't seem to exist for men, at least not to the same extent. Much less serious than other responses here, but I'd love it if my girlfriends and I got together and played sports and shit in our free time. I guess something equivalent to bro culture. Status. Topic locked for moderation cleanup. Topics are generally locked when a post has received a large number of rule-breaking comments that require moderator attention. Please report all rule-breaking. Not having to think of my appearance all the time, not being questioned all the time, not being discouraged to act, being able to act without being closely examined, being encouraged to take what I need, not ever having to question my right to, being able to have kids after taking a lot of time to figure everything out, comparing who pisses longer, not having boobs, not having a period or your body basically owned by other people, having the world built around your needs, seeing hot bodies everywhere, not needing to physically fear inviting a stranger or walking alone or going to the bathroom at your workplace, feeling free basically. I know this isn't how most men feel though. Too bad. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about what I've potentially missed out on by being socialized to be so nice, sweet, etc. It's not too late to learn now, of course. And I'm trying, but I can't help wondering where my more assertive alternate self's life path would have gone. Peeing standing up. Sharing my sense of humor. My dad sat me down once and told me that because of the double standard I couldn't tell certain jokes because it was unbecoming of a lady while boys who told the same jokes were allowed. He said it is different when the remarks come from a boy and that he didn't agree with the double standard, but it is what it is. Traveling alone, especially in cities. I theoretically could, but it wouldn't be near as safe as it would for a man. Being taken more seriously as a drafting engineer and not asked why I chose that career despite being a woman, and not having to defend my ideas and being questioned more than my male peers just because I'm a woman sharing her plan and solutions, especially since my initial ideas are often the ones we end up going with in the end of our brainstorm session anyway. Evaluate a project's efficiency in itself, not someone's competence because of their gender. Being taught how to work with your hands from a young age. Woodworking is awesome, but my dad never taught me that. Pockets. Lots and lots of pocket space.